3520 Broadway and 1500 North 12th Street. The Liquor Booth, where it's always happy hour.
Hey everybody, welcome to the Daily Muddy. I'm Ashley Conrad, and joining me today for Coffee Talk is my pal Britt B. What's happening?
How are you?
I'm fantastic. I feel like every time I come in here, especially on a Tuesday, I just start smiling. I don't know if it's because the people here or what we talk about, but
it's like a little mini vacation.
It really is. And it's like I just come in and have so much fun. I don't know what it is. And half the time, none of it makes any sense. I just say
I was
things.
just about to say nothing makes sense.
No. One thing that does make sense is, well, I don't know. This doesn't really make sense. Well, okay.
It doesn't make sense.
We'll let viewers and listeners decide. So there was an article.
It was by the St. Louis Post-Dispatch.
Yeah, which basically was outlining universities that are seeing financial strife, right?
Yeah, it's like who isn't seeing financial strife,
right?
Though?
I mean, come on. If eggs are more expensive, then I'm sure universities are having a hard time, not only with their food, but their books, their staff, overhead.
Yeah.
I mean, it's crazy. Yeah. So, of course, one of the quotes in the article was, it was talking about endowments versus debt. And it was like, let's be clear. McGee was like, we're not rich.
Yeah.
I would think that would be, I think if QU were rich, yeah, it'd be a nice position to be in, but it would also be like, well, why don't you shell out some of that dough to get some more kids there to go to school, right? So you never want to be rich and just sitting on a cash pile if you're a university, I feel. Because there's always something to improve, new professors to hire. So, yeah, I think everybody's facing financial stuff. That being said, Quincy University rocks. I mean, I don't know how many.
Duh.
Yeah, right? I don't know how many alumni work for Muddy River News. I know at least 3.
Yes.
Okay. We all probably had different experiences. Mine was, I went there after 2 years at John Wood. So I kind of knew what I was getting myself into. But the scale of the experience was larger, right? So a little less like checks and balances by your professors. So you kind of felt a little more adultish, but they were still really involved in your education. And I became really close friends with a lot of my professors.
That's what you're saying. That is so much that you decided to continue your education afterwards there. That's pretty impressive.
Yeah.
I know that I had the experience of doing all 4 years there only because they actually did have incentive and scholarship program at the time. It was cheaper for me to go to QU over John Wood just for the scholarship program that they had. Yeah, I was kind of smart in high school.
Look at you go.
So I got, but that was also possibly my mom's way of like making me a hawk because she was a hawk too. So I don't know. I mean, I do believe that she would have led me into the most financial incentive.
Incentivized. Yeah, because, well, let's be honest. So QU is a private Catholic college.
And right now it isn't cheap, but they
very expensive.
Provide opportunities.
But it's like accredited. When you're looking at a university, class size should always matter. The class sizes are never, at least in my experience, were never too big.
What was your biggest one?
I think 40.
I think that was about mine too, and it was at
it was the one that kind of like
North
stepped
Camp,
up,
and I did feel like it was
a big deal, because when you come from John Wood, and when I went to John Wood, it was the the FEMA trailer classrooms, which were still really cool. I still got a great education, but going into a larger lecture style classroom with 40 students versus 15, it just made me feel like I was in the university environment.
Just the setting of that stairs. I know that's not.
It's what you see on movies.
Yes.
Right. So it was like you're going in, you're like, yeah, I'm officially a college student. But then the teachers, the professors that I had, so not only were they were very hands-on, they followed me through to my master's program. So we learned each other's styles. So I learned their teaching style, they learned my learning style, and we worked really cohesively together to a point where it made it almost no-brainer to continue my education there, not to mention the parties.
Yes.
So for a local college, a lot of people are like, I can't believe you never left Quincy. I'm like, dude, I had the full experience of university life. So the row houses, I mean, all of my best friends lived there. And there were some, I still have shirts from like keg races, and one of my buddies on the football team threw his desk out of the second-story bungalow window on a dare, right? No one got hurt, thank God. But it was just one of those things. You're like, oh my God, this is something out of what's
the guy that just did that?
Like, You're My Boy Blue. Oh, Tracy, Morgan Wallen.
Yeah, Morgan Wallace that day.
Yeah. But this, like, I was thinking of, the college movie where things just are raucous and things go awry. You're My Boy Blue or whatever.
Yeah,
I feel like
old school.
That's it. But it really was the best of every world. Plus, I lived right there. I worked at the Abbey. So it was like I got to live at home, go to school a few blocks over, experience the entire university life, go to work, serve all of my buddies. I mean, it was just really cool. I would recommend it to anyone. And as far as like financial stuff, yeah, I mean, it's up to us to market universities, especially Quincy. And when you have a shitty article come out like that that's not 100% true, and also is just trying to get clicks and likes, it smears the university unnecessarily, right?
Yeah.
So then it's
like what we were just saying, who's not stumbling in this economy? That was exactly like what you just said. Clickbait. You're looking for content.
Yeah.
That's gross.
Scrambling, I feel. Like you're scrambling.
Yeah.
Also, I feel like universities, along with everything else, can tend to be cyclical because, you have a bunch of people going to college, but maybe not a lot of jobs that are paying college-worthy salaries, right? So then things kind of go into a trade school or even, just kind of an entry-level type position where people grow up through the ranks. But I feel like if more corporations would offer tuition assistance, and that would help.
Or incentivize the whole, I know that sounds redundant, but to incentivize the whole reason to go to college, like what you were just saying with trade schools and whatnot. My college experience was a little different. I was not as, I don't want to say like involved.
In student life?
Yeah, I was working to pay my rent. Not that I couldn't live at home. I chose not to.
Sure.
So I was constantly like working to pay rent towards an apartment while simultaneously going full time to school. So I didn't really have as much time to like do like the party life. I didn't get as involved in the student body life. I was more of what you would call a commuter student.
Sure.
I used that. It was an opportunity for me to still continue to live my life in Quincy, to do my job that I was doing, and then at the same time get my classes done. I ended up kind of sliding by. I don't want to say I didn't have the greatest guidance, but like it kind of slid under a little bit because my guidance counselor may or may not have had narcolepsy.
Oh, Sleepy Joe.
I won't put her. She was the greatest.
Oh, okay.
It was just like I got her towards the end of her career, and there were times where like she would literally fall asleep during our guidance counselor things, and I had always secondhand embarrassment.
She was probably partying with us.
No. This was an actual condition, Ashley, and I felt super bad for her because I'd be like, So 9 times out of 10, I was like signing myself up for classes, and people would be like, "How did you get in this class?"
Yeah.
Like you don't have the credentials for it. And I was like, can I just please stay? Because it sounded interesting.
Like, you know what?
So I really did get a well-rounded liberal arts education because I didn't end up declaring my major until like my junior year, late junior year, which is unheard of. Because the whole point about college is direction. And that's where I'm getting around with this. I never get around to my direction. So the whole point about college is direction. And like, when you're spending $25,000 a year, you better have some direction behind it. I did not. It was one of those in the time frame and the time and age. It was you just go to college like after high school, right after high school is the next stepping stone in life. And I think that that's just not what it is these days. Like what you were saying, the trade school, the economy is different, lifestyle is different. So as a mother now, with the college experience that I had, again, loved it. I had a great college experience. I have a 4-year degree that, I dedicated time to, that no one can take away from me. It's an education that I prove to myself and to others the dedication that I can do behind it. I see all the value in it. But in the same token, I want, like I have said as a mother, I'm not sure if I want my daughter to go to college.
Yeah.
I see the trade school. I always joke with her and say she's going to be Beans the plumber. Beans butt crack plumbing.
Yes. Perfect.
But it's a joke, but it's not a joke at the same time. I don't want to see you $100,000, $200,000 in debt without direction. And again, tinfoil hat. Do we really need this, Sue?
Well, I mean, I think there are so many questions to be asked when you're talking about, 4-year, 6-year, 7, even 10-year education. To be honest, when I went into it, I didn't know what I wanted to do, but I will say I'm one of the lucky ones that actually got a really well-paying job that actually has to do with my degree. I'm not saying a lot of people are that fortunate, but I think it's something that outside of my job, it really did. You nailed it. One of the big purposes of college and school is, dedication, drive, obedience, which is not necessarily a good thing, but it does teach you, to self-motivate. So if nothing else,
it's a good thing that we have lack thereof.
Yeah.
And a big thing that QU did, I know that I've heard from your story, and again, it did it for me too, but the direction.
Yeah.
That's huge. So what I was just saying, sometimes you don't have direction, and you better have direction if you're going into it. Yeah. They're good about finding the people without direction and generally helping them. Again, I'm one that maybe slid under the cracks, but at the same time, I found good things from it.
Yeah.
I found a whole I ended up being in this 300 level history class. Never had taken a history class in my life. Learned more than I could possibly have ever learned.
Yeah.
And
you went for law enforcement, didn't you?
So I ended up double majoring.
Okay.
I had no idea what I was doing, and then at the end
you're signing yourself up for classes.
They added them up, and they're like, "You are a major in criminal justice and psychology." I was like, "Yes, that's awesome." But that
awesome double major
history class would have never happened had I not been able to slide through those cracks. Again, sometimes that ends up being an opportunity.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, and I mean, as far as, will we need a 4-year education? I don't know, but I'm glad I have mine to fall back on.
Same.
So if
Can't take it away from me.
Yeah, right. And I'm proud of it. I'm proud to say that I did it. I'm also proud to say that I will offer my kids options, because I think trades weren't as attractive as they are now. Even simple skills that I wish I would have learned junior high, high school, and into college, credit scores, homesteading, even things. It would be nice if there were some actual life skills that were being taught from, at a very young age to continued education. So if my kiddo wants to go in my husband's path and go into contracting or building trades, do it, dude.
Yeah.
Or nursing, and I mean, there's just so many different opportunities. But I do think that I'm hoping that it's cyclical, and that just because it was a norm when we were graduating high school doesn't necessarily mean that it was a necessary norm. But I do like the idea of campus life, giving you a little taste of, almost, if for no other reason, a little 4-year vacation before you go out into the real world.
Oh, I totally agree.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I took 7, but that's how I like to do. I'm like, you know what? I'm not quite done enjoying myself yet. No, I was working, but still, yeah. College life was definitely, they were some of the best years of my life. So I do recommend it. But I don't recommend taking out $150,000 in loans just so you can say you went to college.
Yeah. Exactly. I still feel like I'm living college life.
I do too.
We have Shane producing our coffee talk, and we were like, oh, lunch boxes.
Yes.
What?
Yeah, right? Hey, we still like to have fun. And this is what I mean. That's what life's all about.
Exactly.
So whether it's college, trades, entry-level jobs, gig economy, do what makes you happy, but do it a little responsibly, I would say. Try to be responsible about it, and not irresponsible like the St. Louis Post-Dispatch, who's just absolutely grasping for content.
I agree.
Yeah. And good luck to QU is what I would say. And I would recommend QU to anyone listening or watching.
Go Hawks.
100% go Hawks. Amen.
Speaking of fun in different directions in life, the next segment, I'm assuming that they went on a different direction in life. They probably, I don't know about their college career. I guess I have to Google that one.
Maybe Ron will ask.
I know.
I don't know. That would be interesting to know.
Yeah.
You going to sing it for us?
Baby, I'm amazed by you.
That was pretty damn good, Brittany.
You're welcome.
See, college does work. Anyway, no, I'm kidding. She's amazing. Our very own Ron Kinscherf sits down to talk to Lonestar next. Stay tuned.
Kelly's has been a fun place to eat and drink in Quincy since 1982. A fun and friendly atmosphere, food with flavor, homemade cinnamon rolls, and famous cheese soup, the best menu in town. Kelly's, 2902 Broadway, Quincy.
Are you looking for the perfect venue for your next special event? Check out Utopia Event Center.
Utopia has a large banquet room and an awesome bar area, perfect for anything from birthday parties to formal corporate meetings. It also offers a photo booth, stage for a DJ or a live band, and a fully stocked bar, all for only $300. Check us out at utopiaeventcenter.com or call Barn at 217-430-6559 for more information. Utopia Event Center, 900 North 12th Street in Quincy.
The Tower, a great place to meet and eat. But did you know the Tower has one of the finest drink selections in our area? Along with its incredible Mexican menu, the Tower specializes in tequilas for every taste. Names like Patron, Cabo Wabo, and Hornitos. And don't forget the margaritas. On Mondays and Tuesdays, stop by and pick up a single topping pizza and get Tower margaritas to go. Enjoy the Tower at home or in our dining room, bar area, or the Tower's signature climate-controlled porch. The Tower Pizza and Mexican in Quincy.
Welcome to the Abbey, a Quincy tradition. With 6 big screens, a new larger kitchen, and now more seating capacity, the Abbey is the place to be before, during, and after the big game. Come enjoy fan favorite appetizers, steaks, burgers, and a variety of daily food and drink specials. Can't join us? Carryout is available too. Now with a convenient drive-up window to better serve you. 1736 Spring in Quincy. Opens at 3 p.m. Tuesday through Sunday. Come join all your friends at the Abbey, a Quincy tradition.
Instant Replay is your local sports bar. With 18 big screen TVs, we have all the sports packages from college games to pro games. We offer daily drink specials, and come check out the Bullpen, our newly renovated beer garden. Instant Replay, 2739 Chestnut in Quincy.
The Liquor Booth is your home for a huge selection of beer, wine, and spirits. The Liquor Booth has 2 locations in Quincy, 3520 Broadway and 1500 North 12th Street. The Liquor Booth, where it's always happy hour.
Hi, this is Ron Kinscherf with Muddy River News. We have Michael Britt from Lonestar with us, and they will be a part of the Gem City Concert Series in Quincy here on Sunday, May 26th. They'll be headlining. And what's a sound? Do you remember the first time someone said Lonestar will be headlining a concert?
It's been a while, but yeah, I vaguely remember that we were playing. I believe it was in Kalamazoo, Michigan, or someplace like that. Before that, we'd done a lot of opening acts and slots like that, and it's one of the first theaters we headlined, and it was the line was wrapped around the building, and we felt like rock stars for the first time ever. So
yeah, how did that feel though? I mean, obviously you had to go through all the pains and troubles of a band starting up, and now all of a sudden you're the top name on the marquee. That had to be, I mean, just amazing. Like
it was amazing, and we were just so tickled to have it happen to us. I think everybody should have that kind of feeling. It's to feel important, to somebody in somebody's lives. That's just really a big thing.
So to follow up on that, so you've got a kind of unique project going on with your latest EP. You want to explain what you got going on?
Yeah. We wanted to kind of we had a little bit of, free time at one point last year, kind of the same time, kind of in the January, February, March kind of area. We get a little slow. So we thought, and one day we were actually gearing up for our first showcase with Drew, our lead singer, and he started playing Time After Time at a sound check, and we thought that was just really cool that, it's not a song you would associate with a male singer to begin with, but, just an older rock song, but he did such a cool version of it that we thought we wanted to get that on tape. So we we said, let's just pass the tracks around and just kind of build the song, individually at each other's houses, because we all have recording setups at our houses. And so that's what we did. We did time after time, and it turned out pretty good considering we just all did it. And then I think Dean had the idea, if we're going to do that, let's just go in the studio. But it doesn't make a lot of sense to spend money for one song in the studio. So then we kind of just came up with the idea that let's just all pick a song, no cover song, maybe all female cover songs at first, and just do all of those and see what that turns out like. And we just did it for fun. Honestly, there was nobody to tell us no. And that's the coolest thing. It's kind of like being kids in a garage band, there's no parents to tell you no, so you just do it.
Yeah, so the first release from that is going to be a Fleetwood Mac tune, correct?
Yeah, we released that one already, the You Make Lovin' Fun, and we shot a video for that. And then the next one to come out, I believe, is Here Comes the Rain by the Eurythmics.
So was there a specific reason why you picked female? I mean, you're doing Pink, you're doing Adele. It's a really interesting group of female voices you picked. Was there a reason why it was female?
Not really, just the fact, I think the cool thing, what we just thought when Drew did Time After Time at that sound check, was like, it was just so unexpected, and then we thought, wouldn't it be funny to do just all female songs? Like, it's just basically doing songs that aren't going to be directly compared, because you're not going to compare Drew's voice to a female singer. So I think that was kind of like the appeal to us is, we're going to pick these songs that people wouldn't expect a guy to be singing. Nobody expects a guy to be singing Rolling in the Deep. It's just,
no.
But it's, I think just trying to do that kind of unexpected thing was what kind of appealed to us.
So now when you're going on the road, since you've got this new kind of twist to what you guys are doing, I'm assuming you're going to play these on the road since it's part of your repeat. So does it sound like you're a kind of, I don't want to say a new band, but kind of refreshed in a way that you got this new type of music to bring to your audience?
We just always love finding new songs to do live because honestly, a lot of our fans have been with us for so long and they want to hear all of our hits. And luckily we've had so many hits that, we've got a show full of hits. So it's kind of hard to find places to put new songs in a way, but these kind of sit in their own little genre, in their own little place. So it was kind of fun to be able to, we're going to put a couple or three in the new show that we're getting ready to work up. But we've done You Make Lovin' Fun already live a couple times, and it's just fun. I think it's just interesting, and I think people just appreciate interesting. People spend half their days on the phone looking at different videos, and it may be things they're totally into, or it may just be something they just were not expecting. And I think that this is kind of like the unexpected part of our show.
Yeah, it's always interesting when a band does a cover, I think, because you guys made an effort to bring your own style to the covers. I do know that, right?
Oh yeah, totally. Yeah,
so I just think that's kind of cool for the audience. Oh my God, they're singing a Pink song or something like that. I just think that adds a lot to the show. And I think it also exudes a little bit of confidence in yourselves, correct? That you're trying something that's not necessarily up your alley. I mean, they're not country songs.
Well, the cool thing, and it wasn't super thought out. The cool thing is, and we've been doing cover songs since we began. We started as a bar band doing cover songs, and then we started writing original music. But we've always enjoyed doing cover songs because you can put your own spin on it. You can take it someplace it isn't originally. But some of these songs are so iconic. That's the name of the album. I mean, like You Make Lovin' Fun. I couldn't not give a huge nod to Lindsey Buckingham's guitar solo. So, but it still, to me, sounds like me playing Lindsey Buckingham solo. It doesn't sound like him playing. But I think that's what happens when you have a band. You have all these different influences that everybody brings to the table. And any song we end up recording ends up sounding like a Lonestar song just because that's how we play. That's our style that we do. And even when we're trying a little bit to copy some bits of songs, it still comes out sounding like us. And I think that's the cool thing about all cover songs.
Yeah.
When you hear John Mayer doing Free Fallin' by Tom Petty, that's one of my favorite covers ever because you almost hear the song in a completely new way. The lyrics make it different, almost have a different meaning.
Michael, you brought up Lindsey Buckingham, and it kind of leads to my next question. Is there, when you do the cover songs, was there a specific lead guitar piece of a song that was almost too much of a challenge for you? You're like, I just can't get this one right. Then you're like, my God, now I have to get it right because it's so damn hard.
Yeah, not necessarily hard. I think what I tried to do, there's a couple solos on this, but the biggest one is the Fleetwood Mac, the Lindsey Buckingham solo. And honestly, I've been such a huge fan of them and that album and those songs for so long that I didn't even have to learn the song. I mean, I literally didn't sit down and try to copy it. And I do that a lot because, I play with some cover bands here around town for fun sometimes, and I'll really work on the songs and try to copy them because that's what they do.
Yeah.
But for this one, I just the song I hear it in my head. And so I just kind of found what I was hearing in my head on my guitar. And I didn't actually sit down and learn it. So it isn't identical to what he's playing. But what I did try to do was capture the feel that he had. His really kind of aggressive vibrato he does on that. I was just trying to mimic that a little bit. So I basically just wanted to show my respect to it, is what I would say. You know, I respect him as a player. I respect the artistry that he just had all these years. And I just wanted to not screw it up.
Now, do you guys still get nervous?
Anytime we do something that's kind of out of the ordinary, we get nervous.
But what about when you're going to be on stage in Quincy? Will you guys take the stage, and is there still a pressure to perform?
There's always a pressure to perform, but I feel like we've done enough shows in our career that if it's just a normal kind of, if we get in our routine of the day and everything's going well, it's just usually a flow. You know, we don't get nervous. But you put us on national TV for a change, on a big TV show or something like that, or like we're getting ready to work up a whole new show in a couple of weeks. That's going to be our first couple shows of that's going to be nerve wracking, because we're having to remember all these new things that we've done.
Do you guys have any unique superstitions, like you have to eat red M&Ms or anything like that when you?
Nothing weird like that. We do a pre-show shot before we go on stage, just to kind of like get us in the moment of where we're at. It doesn't even matter if there's alcohol in it. It's just kind of like the get together kind of thing. And then right before every show, we knuckle up and say, don't suck. That's our, we set the bar as low as possible.
Yeah.
You know, you don't have to be great, but just don't suck.
Just don't suck. Yeah. Yeah. Do you remember the first time you ever heard one of your stuff on the radio?
I do. We were in Texas, and we just gotten a record deal. We made it we made our first record, the Lone Star record. Tequila Talking hadn't come out yet, but we had a song called Heartbrook Every Day, and our record label put us on this tour called the Walmart Across America tour. And basically we just went around the Walmart parking lots. It was us and two other artists, and we would just go play in a Walmart parking lot every day for like a week.
Right.
So we were out in Texas doing that, and while we were doing that, one of the stations was playing some of our songs off that the sampler EP they got before the album came out. So that was the first time we ever heard Heartbrook Every Day on the radio with us singing.
Yeah, that's got to be a moment that's burned into your memory.
We were all driving and just tickled to death, and that we heard our song on the radio. And it's happened a few times. And the weirdest thing was we were in New York City doing press for something, and I'm walking just down Times Square. All the open shops, the electronic shops are always going out of business. And walking past one of those, and I hear a maze coming out of one of those shops. I'm like, okay, that's kind of weird. I'm in the biggest city in America, just walking by a random shop and hearing a song.
Do you want to grab somebody and say, hey, that's me, that's my song?
I wanted to, yes, I did not. But yeah, I always want to do that.
Hey, Michael, travel safe.
Thank you.
And thank you for your time, and enjoy your trip to Quincy, and can't wait to see you guys.
Thanks, appreciate it.
All right, Michael Britt with Lonestar. He'll be here on Sunday, May 26th.
Thank you.